DeBailey, first one in the room. Hello, replay viewers. Let's see who tunes on in. Good to see you, Josh. Good to see you, Caroline. Good to see you, Sally. Good to see you, Mike. Good to see you, Volvo Tango. Good to see you, Caramax. Good to see you, Karen Payne. Good to see you, Jack Volpe. Good to see you, Danette. Clear as a bell indeed. Good to see you, Griff. Good to see you, Leela. Good to see you, Paula. Good to see you, Demi. Good to see you, Ann. Good to see you, Diana. Good to see you, Urban City. Good to see you, Girl in the Curl. Welcome. Good to see you, Jack CC. Welcome. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? We're just going to stare at this thing. We're back, Dave. Good to see you. Lynn, the latency lottery indeed there, Josh. Good to see you, Robin. Barbara C., welcome. Are we ready? Here we go, guys. Let's enjoy the panorama of New York City. Good to see you, Ramona. Oh, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Here we go, guys. Here we go.
Now look below you. The city of opportunity and of greatness, New York. More than 800,000 buildings, millions of stories, bold and eloquent poems in concrete, glass, steel, soaring, stretching bridges and towers, reaching beyond expectation to record for all time the energy, thought, and hope of man. Look at this map and you locate the human race. This is as far as we've gone. A quick snapshot of our progress on Earth. By tomorrow it will have changed. Far more than stone and glass, this turbulent city capital of the 20th century is energy. The accumulating force of 8 million people who daily inhabit its towers, walk, ride, and play in its streets, and give this city its meaning. A surging metropolis of 8 million masters with one incredible servant, the municipal government of the city of New York, whose annual budget is larger than any of the 50 states, larger than most of the United Nations, whose capital is also here. How do you protect 8 million people, prevent contagious disease, educate 1 million children, serve 1 million aged, take care of the needy, provide job opportunity, leisure time opportunity, a good life for all? An alarm in the night from almost 300 fire stations, the red lights flashing below, engines instantly on their way. One of 1,000 fires a week, mainly in crowded districts where many people live. New York, $35 billion worth of buildings, 8 million lives in the hands of 12,000 dedicated officers and men. The fire department, largest in the world, working closely with the police, traffic, the courts, and correction to make New York a safe place to live. 90% of all fires are preventable, and 95% of its firemen teach prevention door to door, in the hospitals, on the beaches with a sound truck, and in the schools. 600 elementary schools, the blue lights flashing below. 250 junior and senior high schools, the yellow lights. 1.25 million students, and all deserve the finest education our town can provide. The 3 R's are still basic, but students are also trained to think and make judgments, to get along with others, to have high moral and spiritual values. Today, the Board of Education faces difficult problems, integrating children of different races. The teenager who drops out of school just when he needs more education to get a skilled job. But through the patience and hard work of their 50,000 teachers, the city's children daily receive a better understanding of their world and of themselves to make the best use of their own abilities. 850 public schools, 11 city colleges, dozens of museums, over 200 libraries, the city's own radio and TV stations. All these together make New York one of the great centers of free public education for kindergarten kid, your citizen. Educational opportunity for all. Every 3 minutes, another baby is born. 165,000 every year. But even before arriving, the new baby is a client of the Department of Health green lights flashing below. Maternity care, birth, infancy, nourishment to maturity, adulthood, old age. A lifetime of well-being for 8 million people. This is the challenge and incredible achievement of the Department of Health. What does it take? In its laboratories and clinics, minute-by-minute vigilance. Examine and analyze the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water and milk we drink, the drugs we consume, the cosmetics we apply, the houses we live in, the waters of our beaches. Through 22 community health centers and its own research council and institute, the Department of Health stands guard together with the Departments of Sanitation, Hospitals, and Public Works, and tries to solve this. Take a lifetime of well-being and multiply by 8 million. The answer? New York, the healthiest city of its size in the history of mankind. The social welfare investigator, one of the most difficult jobs in modern society, daily running the gamut of human want, inadequacy, suffering, need. The Department of Welfare, the blue lights below. It's the largest single social welfare agency of its kind. It provides the necessities of life to those people of the city who can't provide for themselves. Almost 60% of those receiving public aid are children under 18. Tragic aftermath of broken homes and unwed mothers. And 20% more of those being helped are the aged poor. Welfare's aim is to strengthen family life, protect the children, and to restore as many as possible from dependency to self-support, helping each person realize his own potential. This is the commitment of a city to human worth and dignity, to the welfare of all. Marionettes, the Park Department's very own, presented free to all the children of the city. A simple way to introduce theater to awakening minds. And in 300 wading pools, on 11,000 swings, 3,000 seats, in more than 850 playgrounds, the white lights below. Every kind of game to strengthen young bodies, to get lively girls and boys to play according to the rules. Free concerts in the park. More than 300 each year make leisure time more rewarding for older folks, too. And they get quite a kick out of seeing Shakespeare again, superbly produced in the park, free. The dances, entertainment, big bands, but most of all, our senior citizens appreciate the Golden Age centers. Here they find new friends, learn new skills, try arts and crafts, or just enjoy small talk with a smiling companion, instead of the loneliness and the erosion of old age. A new way of life. Through its Department of Parks, the city serves young and old alike, just as they serve the city. This, then, is New York. Far more than steel and concrete, the buildings and streets you see below are lines of force, paths of energy, the restless energy of 8 million people today and millions earlier who together created and are creating this city. Here stretched before you is the cumulative effort of 300 years. 300 years of hope and daring of people of every nation, color, and creed, welcomed by one place of opportunity to live and work together to make their private dreams come true. Here is the mark of our time, man's proudest achievement. Welcome to the city of New York. Now look below you. The city of opportunity and of greatness, New York. More than 800,000 buildings, millions of stories, bold and eloquent poems in concrete, glass, steel, soaring, stretching bridges and towers, reaching beyond expectation to record for all time the energy, thought, and hope of man. Look at this map and you locate the human race. This is as far as we've gone, a quick snapshot of our progress on Earth. By tomorrow, it will have changed. Far more than stone and glass, this turbulent city capital of the 20th century is energy, the cumulative force of 8 million people, who daily inhabit its towers, walk, ride, and play in its streets, and give this city its meaning. A surging metropolis of 8 million masters with one incredible servant, the municipal government of the city of New York, whose annual budget is larger than any of the 50 states, larger than most of the United Nations, whose capital is also here. How do you protect 8 million people, prevent contagious disease, educate 1 million children, serve 1 million aged, take care of the needy, provide job opportunity, leisure time opportunity, a good life for all? Each year, more than 4.5 million phone calls. People who want help and know they'll get it from New York's finest. 25,000 policemen, the largest municipal force in the world. The green lights flashing below, who safeguard life and property, apprehend criminals, uphold the law. 900,000 car calls bring around-the-clock patrol to stop crime, rush oxygen to a heart case, or rescue a kitten stuck in a tree. It's all in a day's work. And so are the 2.5 million summonses issued each year, keeping billions of legs and wheels briskly moving through 6,000 miles of city streets. The police, New York's finest, working closely with traffic, correction, and the courts, and with the fire department to provide personal security for the 8 million who live here and tens of millions more who freely visit. What chance do gifted children have when parents can't afford to send them to college? Well, the city of New York extends the promise of free higher education, equal opportunity for all, through its city university. The white lights flashing below. 11 municipal colleges with more than 105,000 students, the largest enrollment of any university in the USA. Its graduates have achieved distinction, from Beatrice Finkelstein, the girl who packed John Glenn's lunchbox, to America's elder statesman, Mr. Bernard Baruch. In the words of Mr. Baruch, to this day I retain a deep interest in the city colleges and am a firm supporter of free higher education. The municipal colleges have educated thousands of men and women who, for financial reasons, would have been denied the chance for college training. Not only such notables as Senator Robert F. Wagner, Justice Felix Frankfurter, and Dr. Jonas Salk, but thousands of less famous who are today playing constructive roles in every walk of life. The City University, dozens of museums, over 200 libraries, municipal radio and TV, 850 public schools. Where can you find free public educational opportunities to equal New York's? Every year, more than 500,000 persons receive the emergency ambulance care of the 22 municipal hospitals, the white lights flashing below. More than 3 million visits a year, part of this city's belief that modern medical care is the right of every human being, and New York is the greatest center of medical treatment and training anywhere in the USA. Carrying out the city's traditional role as port of entry for the poor, the Department of Hospitals, with its annual budget of $250 million, treats all of those persons who can't afford hospital care and thereby protects the public health. Through its departments of hospitals, health, sanitation, and public works, the municipal government keeps New York the healthiest city of its size in the history of mankind. Why is New York a city of greatness, world's biggest port, center of manufacturing, the arts and commerce, finance, corporate headquarters of the UN? The answer is simple.
I don't know if that played all the way through. Free education, yeah. So welcome to the Panorama of New York City. I cannot show you the narrator. The narrator was Lowell Thomas. I couldn't hear the narration on my end, so I don't know if I preemptively ended it too early. If I preempted it too early, then I'll play it again. But that was the original. Audio from the simulated helicopter ride that took you over this model of the city. This is still the world's largest architectural scale model. There is 385,000 buildings recreated in this model, and the scale is for every foot. For every 100 feet in real life, it's 1 inch on the model. some 300 panels. 300 people created this. It took them about 3 years to make this. They used fire maps for this. The fire department has maps of all the buildings here in New York City, and using those fire insurance maps, they recreated these buildings. And the original buildings that were built here for the 1964 fair were made of kind of like a balsa wood material. And yes, some very dated stuff in the Lowell Thomas script there, but that is the original script from the helicopter ride there. And I think I might have preemptively cut it off early. I can't hear it on my end because I forgot my microphones are still connected. So, but you got a little bit of a taste of that, and unfortunately I cannot show you guys Lowell Thomas because he hasn't been around for a while. And like I just said, Urban City, it took about 3 years to create this. 3 years, over 300 panels, 300 people created this. Robert Moses, he did have the final say on each panel of the panorama, and people were quite worried that he was going to reject certain panels. It is very amazing. And we do have another art piece superimposed on it right now. So these projections here are for a domestic violence art piece that's happening right now. But the Twin Towers are still on the model. So the idea behind that is that only when the full World Trade Center complex is completed, they will add the new World Trade Center buildings. They are already made. Some of them are already made, including number 1, number 3, and number 4 World Trade Centers. They're already made. The newer buildings on the model are made from a 3D printing process. But like I said, the original buildings were made of a kind of a balsa wood material. But we have here another art piece superimposed on the model. And we go from day to night about every 7 minutes. But for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. So the Statue of Liberty is quite small at just about 3 inches. And the name of the art piece superimposed on the panorama at the moment is called The Secret Garden by Stephanie Dinkins. And this VR station offers an experience. Oh, this is virtual reality right here that they have. But this is by far my favorite thing to look at. And if you've never seen the Twin Towers in real life, this is the greatest way to get an idea of what they look like on our skyline. To visit the Queens Museum is open from Wednesday to Sunday, and it's absolutely free to visit. All you need is a timed ticket. Go to the Queens Museum website, queensmuseum.org, for more information. Let's zoom in at Lower Manhattan and the Twin Towers. As the sun comes up. Manhattan, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Williamsburg bridges. They'll have to re-gentrify Brooklyn, okay. There's new buildings, obviously, in Brooklyn. Downtown Brooklyn needs to be remade. As we said, we have lots of new tall buildings here in downtown Brooklyn. Also in Long Island City, Queens, there's a whole new skyline. Right now we're looking at the East River, Lower Manhattan. Downtown Brooklyn, Wallabout Bay, also known as the Brooklyn Navy Yard. And here comes the sun. That little patch of green, that's Fort Greene Park. We could also see near the top of the screen, or near the center of the screen, we have Governor's Island. Statue of Liberty is in the shot. Also, what's the name of that? Ellis Island. Where's the bull? The bull is in Lower Manhattan, Mason. Mason, please understand that the scale on the model is, for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. Lots of emotion when you see the Twin Towers. Yeah, Debbie. But the bull is in Lower Manhattan at Bowling Green. But stuff like the bull will not be represented here in the model because it is simply too small. Again, remember that for every inch on the model, and for every 1 inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. This is all 5 boroughs. No suburban counties are in the model. Like you see Jersey City just behind the World Trade Center. It's all blacked out. So anything that's outside of the 5 boroughs is not represented in this model. Gives a whole new meaning to the day at the office, right? Yeah. But you see how tiny the Statue of Liberty is. It is tiny. So if the Statue of Liberty is that small, how big do you think the bull would be? Maybe about the head of a matchstick. That's how big the bull, that's probably too big, actually. That's probably too big. But we have the Unisphere in the model. Let me show you where the Unisphere is. So here's LaGuardia Airport. And we got a plane landing at LaGuardia. There it is. We have a little plane landing. Let's watch the plane land here at runway 31 here at LaGuardia. Oh, there it comes, coming in for a landing. It's coming in for a landing. And then it goes underneath the model. And then let's watch the plane take off. There it goes. George Washington Bridge right there in the background. And there goes the little plane taking off. Off it goes. I love that. Good to see you, David. Welcome. So now let's look at where we're at. I know, plane spotting here at the Panorama. City Field. This is Flushing Meadows Corona Park. We just walked around right here. Let's zoom in on it. And there is a Unisphere right there. You can see the tent of tomorrow. You could see the former Singer Bowl is on the model. The new City Field is on the model. All right there. All the new models are created with a 3D printing process. NJ785, I have shown this. I have done this live stream in here many times. Last time I did it was about a month and a half ago. This is one of my favorite things to show here in New York. The entire city of New York. Inside this room where the Panorama is today, this is where the UN General Assembly used to meet before they built their permanent headquarters on the east side of Manhattan at 42nd Street. Inside this room, UNICEF was born, and also the partition of Israel was created in this very room. But to give everyone an idea of how big the boroughs are, that's Manhattan. This is the Bronx. This right here, going all underneath me, this is all Queens right here. This is Queens. Then we have the little, this is the, oh my God, what's the name of this, that little creek over there, the Newtown Creek. This is the Newtown Creek separating Long Island City from Greenpoint, Brooklyn. This is all Brooklyn. Coney Island is right there. And then up here, this is Staten Island. The Rockaways in Queens right here. This is the Rockaways in Queens. Reese Park right over there. This is Floyd Bennett Field, Breezy Point. That is Sheepshead Bay. This big bay right down here, this is called Jamaica Bay. And then I'm directly above John F. Kennedy International Airport. It is definitely a must-see, David. If you've never seen this before, if you're looking for something unique and special to see when visiting New York City, I cannot recommend this Queens Museum and the Panorama of New York City enough. This is one of the greatest things to see in all of the entire city of New York. As the sun goes down here in New York once again, the lights of the city are coming on. The sun goes down on the model, and then we get moonlight.
It was impossible to forget, but I've never actually been able to comprehend the full gravity. My most basic
Urban City ASMR, if you've never seen this in person, I highly recommend it. The live stream does not do this justice. This is simply one of the greatest things you could see in the entire city of New York. And it's absolutely free to visit. It is a work of art. You're more than welcome, David. So why is Queens County known as Queens and Kings County known as Brooklyn? Well, Brooklyn is the Dutch name, is the Dutch village of Brooklyn, created in 1632. Kings County and Queens County are holdovers and relics from the British era. Also, Richmond County, Staten Island, that's also a holdover from the British era. The Bronx, Jonah Bronk was the landowner in this area during the Dutch era, and that's why people simply called it going up to the Bronx. So Jonah Bronk, he was the landowner, and that's how you get the name the Bronx. Manhattan is derived from the Native American word Mannahatta. Mannahatta means land of many hills. Hope that helps you understand. A little bit of sunlight staying on Manhattan. Great stuff indeed, John. A little bit of sunlight staying on Manhattan, it looks like. They're keeping the lights on just a little bit over Manhattan here. But the idea behind the model at this point is the last time the entire model was, here, I'm truly knowledgeable. Well, I am a licensed New York City tour guide. So this is stuff I kind of have to know. But you're more than welcome, NJ785. So the idea behind the model is the last time they updated the model completely was in 1997. And then the model was kind of updated in 2004. They did a partial update to the model. So a lot of buildings are missing. So mainly the big areas that are missing, obviously the new World Trade Center is not completed. Downtown Brooklyn, the new downtown Brooklyn nothing is in downtown Brooklyn basically. Long Island City needs to be updated. Billionaires Row needs to be updated. But as for the World Trade Center, the idea is that when the new World Trade Center is completed, that's when they will add it to the model, and then they will put the original World Trade Center model, they will put that on display here in the Panorama room. I think they are having a party in Manhattan, and we just lost our sunlight here. You see the park areas here. The park areas are lit up in green, and that they use black light basically to illuminate the city. And yeah, no Hudson Yards. The High Line is in the model. Let me show you the High Line. The High Line was actually built in 1931. The original name of it was called the West Side Improvement. The West Side Improvement was built in 1931 to separate the cargo traffic along 10th and 11th Avenues and separate that and bring it into various factories which were along the west side. The structure that the High Line the original structure actually started as far south as Canal Street and went as far north as 54th Street on the west side of Manhattan. So the High Line is here, just it's not a park yet. But the structure is here in the model, and I'm going to make my way around to the other side, and we're going to zoom into Manhattan, and I'm going to show you that. No, Lorraine, you haven't missed much there. We're about, whoa, wow, we're already a half hour into the live stream here. Let me come around Manhattan here, and let's zoom in really close on Manhattan, and I'm going to show you the High Line. Where I'm walking right now would have been where the simulated helicopter ride would have traveled. Good to see a taxi for Mark. Hi, where was the World's Fair? The World's Fair was here at Flushing Meadows Corona Park, here in Queens. Here's a map of Brooklyn, right here. Here's a map of Brooklyn. And Flushing Meadows Corona Park is way up there in Queens, way up there. That's where we had two World's Fairs, one real, one not so real. The 1964-1965 World's Fair was not an official World's Fair. The official World's Fair for the 1960s was in 1968 and in 1962. See, now we're going over Staten Island. Verrazano Narrows Bridge right there in the middle of the screen, the longest suspension bridge in North America. Longer than the Golden Gate by about 62 feet. And now we have returned back to Manhattan. So let's zoom in with the super zoom, and we're going to start looking at the buildings of Manhattan here. Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge. It is very peaceful here, Danette. So now we're going to work our way up north here. Starting here at the World Trade Center, got the Brooklyn Bridge there. Battery Park City at the bottom there, of course, Battery Park and Castle Clinton to the right-hand side of the screen. In the very center, of course, the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center complex. City Hall is in the center of the screen right now. Crossing over Canal Street. And you see a lot of the old piers are still here. That's Pier 40, is that square pier right there. So now we're coming into the meatpacking district, and if you look very closely, you could see a kind of elevated structure winding its way up the west side. Can you see it, guys? That's the High Line Park. It's right here. Can you see that? That's the High Line Park. Right here, that's the Chelsea Market right there. The National Biscuit Company factory is right there at the bottom of the screen. That's where the Oreo cookie was invented. But that's the High Line right here. Yes, it is missing Little Island. Little Island's very new, David. Yeah, we're not dangling my legs, no. No, again, the last time the model was the last time the model was updated was back in 1997, and then in 2004 there were some minor modifications to the model made. Good to see you, Wilbs, driving the Northern Line. Welcome. I love this model too. Hudson Yards, it's right up here. And as you see, nothing from Hudson Yards is actually built in the model, but the Jacob Javits Convention Center is in the model. And that's right there. Got MSG, Madison Square Garden, coming into view. Then if I keep on going up 34th Street, there's the Empire State Building right there. Empire State Building, Madison Square Park. I see the Flatiron Building. Can you see the Flatiron Building? Let's go down to Union Square. There's Union Square Park coming into the screen right now. Yes, it is kind of hard to keep it all up to date there, David. Yes, it is. But I see Union Square Park, and then, ooh, there it is. Coming into the center of the screen is Washington Square Park. There's Washington Square Park right there. Can we see the arch? Let's see if we can see the arch. There's the arch, everyone. Can you see it? Good to see you, Lena. Welcome. Washington Square Park. This is like a time capsule. Yes, indeed. Let's continue to fly up north here. There's our Empire State Building. Madison Square Garden. There is Bryant Park right there with a big white light on top of the library. As you see, there's no one Vanderbilt, but of course, the Chrysler Building is in the model, and if you look closely, the United Nations is near the top of the screen. And then just below all of that, there's Times Square. I see Worldwide Plaza right there. Worldwide Plaza is quite inaccurate because there's other buildings built inside of it. Oh, I'm glad you learned a lot there, Lorraine. Welcome. All right, what a view indeed. Looks like an old school circuit board. Yes, it does. And now we're coming into Central Park. And something that I just realized is still on the model. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite ugly structures in all of New York City. The New York Coliseum. There's the New York Coliseum right there, everybody. That was an ugly building. Good to see you, Fox Tech 106. Welcome. The New York Coliseum right there. Ooh, the sun is going down on the model. Yeah, the sun has gone down on the model now. As we hover over Midtown Manhattan. Tim Fararsi, welcome. The Washington Square fountain has been aligned with the arch since this model was built. Yes, it was, Tim. This model's over 50 years old. Dinosaur Park and Riverside Park on there? I don't know if Dinosaur Park is on here. The patience was very hardcore there, Diana. Yes, the patience to conceive this was pretty amazing. Yes, the Coliseum was ugly even when it was first opened, I have to agree. It was one of the ugliest buildings ever in New York City history. But just, how cool is this? You saw it at the fair. At the time in 1969, the ride still cost a dime. Wow. Yes, hands-on versus digital has its advantages, absolutely. Good to see you, Chibe. Welcome back. So this is all of Central Park right here. The Natural History Museum is right here, and then across the way, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Upper West Side, Upper East Side, and then we come into Harlem. Yes, 1992, that was the date, Wilbs. Thank you so much. Yes, 1992 was the last time the entire model was updated. I thought it was 1994, yeah, 1992. The entire model was updated. And then in the early 2000s, there were some new buildings added, like the new Yankee Stadium, the new Shea Stadium, Citi Field. NPC, air rights have been around since the 1960s. Not too far from there, Little Dominican Republic, yes indeed, Washington Heights. That's this neighborhood right here. This is Washington Heights. And then right here, this is the George Washington Bridge. And then we have Inwood, Manhattan, Upper Manhattan, Inwood right here. This is the Harlem River. The Harlem River snaking down into the East River, Randall's and Ward's Island right here. But there's the George Washington Bridge. Inwood, the Cloisters, right over here. And then all up in this area here, this is the Bronx. There's all the Bronx right here. This is all the Bronx. And then if you look closely, there is Yankee Stadium right up there. They need to put some Peterbilt trucks on these roads. Well, Wilbs, it's a little bit too small to show automobile traffic. I don't know when the model will be updated, Bella Rose. That's something you're going to have to ask the Queens Museum about. As the sun rises here in the model. Again, the model is more, at this point now, a bit of a moment in time. So, back in your neighborhood, Purple Queen, it does look amazing at night. You're back from lunch. Good for you, John. I can see my house from here. My current living situation is way up there. It is amazing how many islands are connected by bridges. New York City is an archipelago. It's a collection of islands. The only borough, the borough of New York City that's actually connected to the mainland is the Bronx. Yep, a snapshot in time, Danilee, a snapshot in time. Good to see you there, Eugene, out there in the United Kingdom. Welcome. The parachute jump is on the model. I will show you that. Let's fly over to Coney Island. Yes, that is the city building in Queens. That's the only building in Long Island City that's very tall. There it is right there. As you see, they got to update Long Island City. John, this was created by the World's Fair Corporation from 1964. This was a simulated helicopter ride. See Big Alice, the Ravenswood Power Generation Station, and Roosevelt Island. The Queensboro Bridge is in the shot right now as we look down the East River. Alexi, good to see you. Where is this? Is it open to the public? If so, how much? Alexi, good to see you, Alexi. Alexi, we are inside of the Queens Museum here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. This is part of the Queens Museum. This is an exhibit that is absolutely free to visit. Go to queensmuseum.org for more information. The details very, very insane, yes. Yes, the days do go by fast here in the miniature city. But this is inside the Queens Museum, and it's absolutely free to come and view. All you need is a timed ticket. Again, go to queensmuseum.org for more information. You're still looking at the world's largest architectural scale model. This is the world's largest architectural scale model. The city of Shanghai has something similar, but not to this scale. The city of Shanghai is kind of smaller compared to this model, even though the scale of it is larger. But on this model, for every inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. So it's a 1 to 100 scale. For every 1 inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. I don't know what that is in meters, so please don't ask me what it is in meters, because I don't know. Absolutely, Wilbs. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed this. We're gonna make our way up to Coney Island because the parachute jump is on the model, and also the old Thunderbolt and Cyclone are on the model. So let's get up there. Alexei, people like to watch Times Square, and people watch it every day. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why people overhype Times Square all the time. I tried to show you guys different things here in the city, but clearly nobody wants to watch that. So that's why I have a very dedicated audience, and I'm very appreciative of my audience. And yeah, so I appreciate you appreciating this, and yeah. This is amazing. Before Google Earth. The cyclone was never moved. The cyclone was never moved. The cyclone has always been in its same spot for its entire history. But this is something I have been looking at. I have been coming in here since I was 11 years old. I came here for a class trip when I was 11 years old. And every time I come into this model, I feel like 11-year-old me. I get the same feeling as I did all those years ago, back in 1991. I always get the same feeling looking at this model. But to be honest, people rather look at Times Square every day. And hey, it is what it is. That's what gets the viewers, evidently. So looking at something cool like this, a lot of people don't like it. It's too boring for them. But I appreciate all you guys watching right now. Flying over Staten Island once again. And we're gonna hover directly over Brooklyn and over Coney Island. And once the sun comes up here in the model, I am going to show you guys the parachute jump and the amusement district in Coney Island. New York is a big place. And this model really gives you an idea of how big it is. Not boring to you, I appreciate that. Linda K, I appreciate that. And thank you to all the members of the channel. Thank you guys for being members of the channel, much appreciated. Patrick St. Cyr, good to see you. This model is cool. This is the world's largest architectural scale model. So when I go home, I'm gonna be leaving Flushing Meadows, which is way up here, and I'm gonna take the subway into Manhattan, come all the way down through Brooklyn, and then I'm currently living right here in Seagate. This is called Seagate right here. This is all Coney Island. And then Sheepshead Bay over here. But I live right here now. I live here amongst the sand dunes. But I have a long trip to make to go home today. I love looking at this model, Jack. I could stare at this for hours. We've been in here for 50 minutes, and it feels like I've been in here for 10. All right, so the sun is now rising here in New York City. Let me show you the amusement district here at Coney Island, and look very closely because I'm going to show you guys the parachute jump. I'll see you later, David. Don't work too hard. So can you see it, guys? Can you see it? Can you see the parachute jump? Because there it is right there. By the way, all those little things jutting out, those are rock jetties, and that's the Steeplechase Pier. Then right next to the parachute jump, you have the old Thunderbolt roller coaster. This is not based off of satellite photos. This is based off of fire insurance maps. Brad, where am I? It's in the description below. We're in the Queens Museum. And then you got the Cyclone, and if you look really closely, you can see the Wonder Wheel. A lot of people think, yes, absolutely there, Metalhead, absolutely. The New York Aquarium near the top of the screen, and then you can see the Stillwell Avenue subway station. The Luna Park houses are right there. But this is the amusement district right there. There's the amusement district right there. And a lot of those rides don't exist anymore. But we have new rides, at least in Coney. But the parachute jump, right there. You can even see the shadow of the parachute jump, which is so cool. The Abe Stark ice skating rink is that square building right next to the parachute jump. It's still there today. But that's Coney Island. This is the Q train. The Q train right here. Then the F train is right here. And then the N and the D trains are right here. The N train goes up through here, and then the D train comes down along through here. And then Coney Island, Seagate, Sheepshead Bay, Manhattan Beach. This is Brighton Beach. Then you have the neighborhoods, Bensonhurst, Dyker Heights, Bath Beach, Gravesend, Bay Ridge, Sunset Park, Greenwood Cemetery, Prospect Park, Park Slope, downtown Brooklyn, Fort Greene, Burham Hill, Carroll Gardens, Lower Manhattan, downtown Brooklyn, the Financial District, the Village, Midtown Manhattan, Central Park, Governor's Island, Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. This is Staten Island here, St. George, where the Staten Island ferry docks, the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, South Beach, Highland Boulevard is right about there, Great Kills Park right over here, the Staten Island Mall right over here, Tottenville in Staten Island way down over there. What else can I show you? Floyd Bennett Field, Breezy Point, Fort Tilden, Reese Park, Neponset, the Rockaways, Far Rockaway, Broad Channel, Jamaica Bay, John F. Kennedy Airport. I mean, this is a big room where they built this. This is a big room. As you see, Brooklyn is really the city. Brooklyn and Queens are the largest parts of the city. Will Frontis, good to see you. You're proud of your city. New York City is the best city in the world. Absolutely, Will. Good to see you. To think you could take a ferry ride from 108th Street here in the Rockaways. You take the Rockaway ferry, you go way down underneath the Gil Hodges Bridge, way down over here, come all the way around underneath the Verrazano Bridge, all the way up there, and then Pier 11 Wall Street is right up there on Manhattan. That's a fun ferry ride that we're going to do here on this YouTube channel in the very near future. Maybe tomorrow, actually. We might do that tomorrow. If you want to know when I'm going to go live next, make sure you hit the notification bell. because on this channel, I do go live kind of randomly because life is random, am I right? So I don't have a set schedule, everyone. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when I'm gonna go live next. Also become a member of the channel. Sometimes I give updates to when I'm gonna go live. I gotta definitely use this stream for reference info, awesome. So now I'm back over Queens. And oh, we got the little plane landing at LaGuardia. There it comes in for a landing. Yay. There's LaGuardia Airport, and then I just tilt the camera down to Flushing Bay. There is Citi Field. And then right here, Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, and you could just see the Unisphere. And the building we're in is that little rectangular building right there. And that is the New York City Pavilion of the 1939-1940 World's Fair and also the 1964-1965 World's Fair. And of course, the tent of tomorrow is right there in the middle of the screen. Where is Fifth Avenue? Fifth Avenue, which Fifth Avenue are you talking about, NPC? Which Fifth Avenue are you talking about? Are you talking about Manhattan Fifth Avenue? Are you talking about Brooklyn Fifth Avenue? Are you talking about the Bronx's Fifth Avenue? Because there's a lot of Fifth Avenues. Governor's Island's pretty amazing, Lorraine. And we will be going back out to Governor's Island in a few, I think next week we're going back out to Governor's Island. Ooh, the sun is setting once again on the model. Fifth Avenue in Brooklyn is considered a shopping mecca. As you see, New York City is a lot more than just Manhattan. Manhattan's actually quite a small piece of the 5 boroughs. For a long time, Manhattan Island was only New York City. Also, New York County, that's Manhattan. So that's why it's called New York, New York. But the consolidation of Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and the Bronx happened in 1898. That's when the greater city of New York was put together. A lot of people in Brooklyn, including myself, call that the mistake of 98, the mistake of 1898. The current population of the 5 boroughs of New York City, of the 5 boroughs, is around 8.9 million people. You can bring a laser pointer here, Madam Mojo. Yes, you can. A lot of teachers come in here using laser pointers to give people reference to where stuff is here on the map. And down goes the sun. That's right, Patrick. Down goes the sun. Williamsburg, Manhattan, and Brooklyn bridges right there in the shot. The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. Lower Manhattan, the Lower East Side. Exactly, NJ. Once again, why are the Twin Towers still here? The World Trade Center is still here because they're waiting for the entire World Trade Center complex to be completed before they add it to the model. The last time the model was fully updated was back in 1992. But the idea is that they want to give people an idea of what the Twin Towers used to look like on our skyline. So we're going to wait until the full World Trade Center complex is completed, and then we will add that to the model. Right now, the World Trade Center is still not completed. The Oculus would be tiny on this model, urban city ASMR. The World Trade Center would be very tiny. Mr. Ming, no. Mr. Ming, please do some research. That's a really ignorant comment. And I'm really not entertaining ignorant comments today. Or really, if ever. Yeah, you could do that on other people's streams. You can't do it here. Again, the New World Trade Center complex is still being rebuilt. So it's a new World Trade Center complex, not as much office space. They weren't full of asbestos there, SOU 7000. SOU 7000, you know, I worked in Lower Manhattan in the days and months after September 11th. I had to go back to work 5 months after September 11th, and I breathed in a lot of, it was fiberglass, SOU 7000. It was fiberglass. There were no masonry walls in the original Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. It was all sheetrock. So it was all gypsum and fiberglass. That's what I had to breathe in for 6 months. I worked in the financial industry. I worked for the NASDAQ market site for the backup systems, and that was located at 55 Water Street. Had to go back 5 days after September 11th. We got the markets up and running 6 days after September 11th. And yeah, gave me a new appreciation on the value of my time and the value of $1. And luckily, I did not come down with any lung issues, but I know many people who have. But a lot of people got some very rare cancers and carcinomas out of that. It's not something I take very lightly, especially when people want to make fun of it, because I had to live through that. So it's very easy to make jokes and from afar and to make assumptions, but unfortunately, I had to live it. And if your next question is, how old are you? I am 42 years old. I was 21 years old when September 11th happened. But getting back to more the fun aspect of this live stream. Yes, it is quite amazing that you could see what the Twin Towers used to look like on our skyline. They were quite imposing buildings. I do like the New World Trade Center buildings a little bit better. It kind of reminds me of the city of the future with all of its glass and everything. But the Twin Towers were quite a bit of engineering. By volume, the original Twin Towers were 70% air. And they could sway up to 3 feet in the wind in any given direction. Also, the buildings made a kind of a screeching sound when the wind hit them. You know when you blow on top of a bottle and it whistles? The Twin Towers used to do that. The vessel is incredibly tiny. Yeah, urban city. I don't think they will put the vessel on the model. I think that might be a little bit too small. Maybe a little wire little thing, you know? And I don't think the vessel's going to last for too much longer. I think they're going to take away the vessel eventually. I have heard some talk about the vessel being replaced with a new sculpture. And I heard that from people who actually live in Hudson Yards. Yeah, Jack Volpe, the Twin Towers were quite a bit amazing bit of architecture. Quite a bit amazing bit of engineering. 10.5 million square feet of office space inside the Twin Towers. And also the entire landscape was changed. Battery Park City would not exist without the Twin Towers. Yep, like a big dog whistle. Yeah, they kind of moaned and screeched in the wind. But I love this thing. This thing makes me feel like a kid every time I stare at it. Every time I stare at this thing, I feel like a big kid. Yeah, they swayed quite a bit, Diana. Pretty interesting, huh? Yeah. Yeah, the vessel is going to probably be replaced very soon, probably another year or two. They may actually place the vessel somewhere else also. And maybe not even here in New York. It may go to another city. Oh, there's the plane. Yay. Lady-O, I love this museum too. Good to see you, Lady-O. We're gonna, in a few moments, we are gonna, Muhammad Aziz. I don't know either. As the sun goes down on our scale model of New York once again. We're going to get ready to wrap up. How do they land the plane? There's guide wires. There's guide wires. I don't know if you can see the guide wires on the live stream, but they are guide wires. When the sun comes back up on the model, I will show you. So the Throgs Neck and Whitestone bridges are right here. And I always forget which is which. I don't know which one is Throgs Neck and which one is Whitestone. It's one of these two bridges. The black lights here make such a cool lighting on the model here. It kind of reminds me of moonlight. But once the sun comes up, Dave, I'm going to show you you know, I tell you, I have the only freaking live stream where people have to mention other live streamers. This is getting really old and really annoying. Just gotta leave it at that. If you're gonna come here just to mention other people, please leave. Do me a damn favor and please leave. I want to enjoy myself. Thank you very much. I swear to God, I have the only live stream where people have to mention other live streamers. It's getting really old. I want to enjoy myself and hopefully show you guys something you may not see normally. No, the city doesn't have a massive blackout. The city is just under nighttime now, Jacqueline. You see the lights on the city, right? No, it's not appropriate. So much to see, so much to learn. Ah, there you go, Kentucky Fry. Oh, thank you so much, Lady-O. Appreciate that. Well, welcome, Jennifer. All right, once the sun comes up, I'm going to show you how the plane works. And then after this, I'll show you one more scale model of the 1964-1965 World's Fair. Good to see you, Denise. Welcome. So now we're over the Long Island Sound. Awesome urban city ASMR, yeah. Come on back, Jacqueline, come on back. Hello from Finland, welcome. But I am right now here, and I got to travel through Manhattan, go all the way down, and I get to go all the way over here. I'm going to travel a pretty long distance going home. Good to see you, John Laura. Welcome. Vaja, Finland is not part of the 5 boroughs of New York City. All right. Good to see you, Frank. Welcome. All right, so here's how the little airplane works. So if you look closely, here we go. We're going to follow the plane. Here comes the plane. Plane's coming into land here at LaGuardia. So can you see the guide wires? There's little guide wires on it. And the plane comes down towards LaGuardia. No, not runway 4, runway 31. Over Flushing Bay. See the guide wires now? Now it's going to go under the model, over a little wheel. Then it's going to come back out. There's actually 3 planes, by the way. And then let's follow it going all the way around. There it goes, taking off. There's Central Park in the background. So to go over the ramp right over there. Then it's going to go up. See those guide wires, everybody? Up, up. Now look at that. It's going to disappear. It's going to disappear into the light. And then there's a little wheel way up here at the top. See the wheel? Then it's going to come across. Let's wait for it to come across over the wheel. It's so hard to see, but it goes over that wheel, over the entire model, and I have officially lost sight of it. I can't see it. I really can't see it right now. But it basically goes way up over here. It goes all the way across, and then there's another wheel. There's another wheel over there. There's the other wheel for the model. And then it comes back down. So that's how it works. Goes basically all the way across the whole model, way up at top. And it's really hard to see. I can't even see it once it gets up there. But it's pretty neat. Again, this is a very large room. The UN General Assembly used to meet in here. And yeah, whoever came up with this was the World's Fair Corporation for the 1964-1965 World's Fair came up with this. This was originally a simulated helicopter ride. And for every inch on the model, for every 1 inch on the model is 100 feet in real life. And then right here, you get an idea of what the model feels like. You could touch the little buildings here. And you see like East River, the bridges, and then we get into Manhattan here. And you could feel Manhattan and all the tall buildings in Manhattan. And then Empire State Building. Ah, the Empire State Building, yes. I love it. But the panorama of New York City. I never get tired of this, John. Here's a great little map. Here's a wall map of the whole city. We are right here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Manhattan is right here, Central Park, LaGuardia Airport, Rikers Island, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Prospect Park, Greenwood Cemetery, Coney Island, way down over there, John F. Kennedy Airport. Always wanted to add a little tiny King Kong, yeah. But this nighttime on the city once again. But now let me show you one more thing before we go. One more thing. Let me show you one more thing here. This is visible storage we're going to see now. And this is all the visible storage from 2 World's Fairs. This is from the '39 fair. And over here is from the 1964-1965 World's Fair. All this stuff changes out periodically. I would love to have a Unisphere salt and pepper shaker. Oh my God, I want that so bad. But here is a little model of the 1964 fair. This is what Robert Moses looked at when he was selling pavilions. This is the very model. And we are in that building right there. But there it is, everyone. Laugh out loud indeed, Marie. Laugh out loud indeed. Very funny. It's hilarious. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for joining me for another walk around Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Certainly has been fun taking you guys around here. But from Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, this is Dutch Moz signing off. Have a fantastic Queen's Day, whether you live here or not. I want you to hug your loved ones. Cherish the moments. And good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more exciting adventures. Turn on that notification bell. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.